This live going. Looks like we got 2 people in. Welcome. Good morning. Yeah, I know my hair's needing a haircut. Need a trim, definitely. All right. As I have been saying the last couple days, I have been carnivore for 15 months now, and I cut out caffeine and coffee this entire 15 months. Today, you are joining me for my first sip of coffee. I got it at Pilot Truck Stop. Well, technically the Flying J. It's Pilot Flying J. It's all one conglomerate now. But they've been voted the best coffee on the interstate by truckers. So this is my first cup of coffee. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Spaceballs mug. Evil will always triumph because good is dumb, as Dark Helmet said. So I'm just going to pour this in here. Oh, I forgot how the smell of coffee is. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, BJ. I'm having my first cup of coffee in 15 months. That's right. Using my Spaceballs mug. Dark Helmet. Oh, that aroma. Oh, I have missed that smell. And here we go. We are going with the first sip. And Nicole, I have a question for you. Oh. Oh my God, yes. It's like, I remember the taste, but, oh, the aroma. You know, I was thinking about putting one very small packet of stevia in there, but I'm not going to. Nope. This tastes amazing. This is 100% Colombian coffee from Pilot Flying J. As I said, voted the best coffee on the interstate by truck drivers nationwide. And that's one thing about Pilot Flying J. Their motto, their policy is always fresh. So, can you guys hear me okay? Or do I need to put my Bluetooth headset on? That's the first question I have for y'all. Please. Because if you're having a hard time hearing me, I'll put the Bluetooth on. But I need to know. And Nicole, my question for you, if I can figure out how to do it, would you be willing to come on this live with me for a few minutes? If I can figure out how to do it. I think I can. Never done it before. But would you be willing to do that? Because I'm sure people would love to hear from you and your expertise in nutrition. And remember, y'all, if you've not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. If you have not subscribed to Nicole, former fat girl, you want to subscribe to her channel. And I am open for questions, everyone. This is my first live I've done with anyone other than I've done it a couple times on Facebook in the past. I did it once on Instagram, but I only had a couple minutes to experiment with it, so really wasn't much of a live. And why am I doing the live? Well, two reasons. One, I wanted to share my first cup of coffee in 15 months with y'all. And the reason I went back to coffee is partially because of Dr. Ken Berry. In his experiment he did with himself for 30 days of cutting coffee out. And he noticed no change in his body with no coffee and then reintroducing coffee. So my feeling is kind of the same, is if your body can tolerate it, why not? Coffee is enjoyable. And I see no problem with having a cup or two a day. Why did you quit coffee and why are you returning to it? Okay, choosing to live one. I quit coffee because I was under the impression that caffeine is not required in the human body, nor is it naturally occurring. So why would I put something in my body that doesn't exist in my body, if that makes sense? Plus, I was also going off of the idea that it does come from a plant, and Dr. Anthony Chaffee is under the impression that all plants are bad, and we should not be consuming, digesting, drinking any product from a plant. I can understand that, but I'm also going by Dr. Ken Berry, who has a lot of experience in the medical field, and he has done this experiment with himself. So I'm going to try it. You know, I don't see any detrimental reason why I wouldn't drink 1 cup of coffee a day, maybe 2. That's it. If some people are concerned about the caffeine, they can always go decaffeinated. I might do that. I don't know. I'm going to try with the caffeine first, because I don't feel I'm overdoing it. So if I start off with 1 cup, why not? Oh, see, now I'm back to that aroma. That is something I have missed. So hopefully that explains or answers your question, choosing to live one. Yeah, gum. You know, even as a kid, I was really never into gum. I would use bubble gum once in a while, just if I wanted to blow a bubble or two, because that's what kids do, you know, blow that bubble, pop, pop, pop. It's a kid thing. As an adult, I really haven't chewed gum, maybe once in a blue moon for breath or something, you know, a good peppermint or mint flavor of some kind. Spearmint was one of my favorites. But then you look at all the sugar that's in gum, and I don't want sugar in my body. That plain and simple. Choosing to live one, I drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee per day. Not willing to give it up unless I find a really good reason to. Well, there you go. BJ, where are you today? I am in Lathrop, California at a Flying J truck stop. I've been here since Friday morning, about 4:30 a.m. after I delivered to Costco Distribution Center in Tracy, California. Then I made it over here and luckily found a spot, because this is a kind of small parking lot. But I found a parking spot and I've been here ever since. More than likely, I won't take off until tomorrow morning. Let's go back here. Okay. Why are you stuck in one place for 4 days? Vicky Martin, because of the holiday weekend, the company had me deliver a 2:45 a.m. load in Tracy, California. I got there at 2:58, which was pretty good. They were expecting me there closer to 4 a.m. But hey, I am trucker extraordinaire, so I amaze even myself sometimes. Hey, I would love to, but I can't today. I'm listening in the background. Okay, Nicole, okay. I appreciate that. Maybe in the future. Enjoy my coffee. Yes, Nicole, I will enjoy my coffee. My coffee. Coffee. Carnivore Cheer. Hi, I drink tea, but I know many people who have quit coffee and returned to it. Since people have different reactions to coffee, they need to do what is best for them, and that is true. That has been my argument all along, that everybody's body is different. It reacts differently to different foods based on a variety of factors, which I'm sure Nicole can back me on this. One of which is, what did your parents eat? Well, okay, let's back that up a little further. What did you eat growing up? What did your parents eat? What did your parents' parents eat? Those things are passed along from generation to generation in your genes when you're born. So what your parents ate affects oftentimes what you can eat, what your body can tolerate, but maybe someone else hasn't grown up that way, or their ancestors didn't grow up that way. So their bodies are not used to and cannot tolerate the same foods that you can. That's my understanding. Now, granted, I am not a doctor or health professional, but I understand basic logic, and I do understand what doctors say, and it's common sense. We are not all designed the same. We come from different genes, we come from different backgrounds, different eating styles. It's just the way it is. Nobody is the same. We are all different. Kind of like a snowflake, I guess you could say. Snowflakes, they're not one is the same. They are all different. So I guess the human race is similar to the makeup of a snowflake. Like as in winter snowflake, not the snowflake of the derogatory statement. How do you deal with smoke and grease when cooking on the truck? Okay, DY. I don't tend to have smoke issues. I don't overcook my food. My steaks are medium rare. I don't char anything, really. Grease hasn't been an issue. If it's splattering all over the place, I'll just put the lid from the electric griddle, skillet. I'll just put that on and cover it. Then I'll just lift it up a little bit as it's cooking, little steam release. But this new skillet I have from Presto, it's a ceramic skillet, not the easiest to find locally. It has a pour spout, so the steam naturally escapes that way, little bits at a time. So that doesn't create an issue. But smoke, I've never had smoke in my truck, ever. I don't overcook things. BJ, how many LBS? How many pounds? There we go, Dave. How many pounds have you lost? Okay, we're gonna go back a little further. And back in 2015, I was 305 pounds. Yes, I will be posting pictures here in a video coming up showing my progression. And at 305 pounds, that was my starting point. At that point, I went vegan because I thought vegan was the way to lose the weight, to be healthy, and it was for the animals, it was ethical, etc., and so on. That's the hook, line, and sinker that I bought. I was vegan for 7 years. I lost about 100 pounds, so I went from 305 to 205. Now, that was not a healthy weight loss. My body, I found out, was depleted of the nutrients that it needed, so it would pull those nutrients from places like my muscles. And that is something I'm paying for now. With the anti-nutrients in plants and oxalates and so many other toxic and defensive chemicals in plants, my body has suffered over the years. Yes, you will lose weight. And the first reason you lose the weight is because you're cutting out all of the highly processed foods. Or are you? Now, as a vegan, I would eat, I fell for the marketing ploy of it's vegan on the packaging. I would look at it real quick, make sure there were no animal products in it, and I'd chow down. What was one of the biggest things that I would use? It was the Beyond Meat products and the Impossible Burgers, especially from Burger King. I thought I was doing my part, the animals weren't suffering. I was getting the nutrition I needed, because the vegan community will tell you, and even vegan doctors will tell you, that you can get all of your protein and nutrition and nutrients from a whole food plant-based diet. Wrong. As we know now, because of anti-nutrients in plants, because of toxins in plants, defensive chemicals in plants, the human body is not able to absorb all of that nutrition. That's why they say and have proven that meat is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet for humans to eat. And we have been eating it for, whether you believe millions of years or hundreds of thousands of years. Both are large numbers. The vegan movement really came around in the 60s and 70s and started catching on. And that's eating according to a philosophy. Now, as a human, if you start eating according to a philosophy, it sounds good, it has that warm, touchy-feely, feel-good feeling about the animals, but you're killing your body over time. And based on what you eat, your parents ate, your parents' parents ate, you can tolerate different foods for longer, or you cannot have the symptoms or the health defects until later in life. Now, I have found vegans that have quit veganism due to this fact, just like I did when it comes to health. Some people, they realize it pretty quickly. Some people take a few years. My magic number was 7 years. Other people are 20 plus years vegan, and then they find out their health is in serious jeopardy, and they might just die. So then they go back to eating meat for health reasons. And then after a good almost half a year on average, sometimes 90 days at least, they start healing their body. Their conditions improve, their diseases start going away or deteriorating back to normal. So let me get back to I kind of went off on a tangent there, only because I have experience as an ex-vegan of 7 years and what my personal experiences are. But anyway, back to the original question, I lost that weight, and then I thought, all right, I'm a truck driver, truckers' health out here, truck drivers are metabolically one of the most unhealthy individuals on the face of the planet. One, we are sedentary, We sit a lot, we drive a lot, up to 11 hours a day. Our food choices at truck stops and whatnot are usually crap. Now, I have been showing how you can make it healthy and how you can make it work. I will continue to do that because I care about my fellow brother and sister truckers out here. I thought it would be a great idea when I was vegan that I would gain purposefully back 60 pounds. I would, and I did, eating a lot of vegan junk food. All that sugar, all those defensive chemicals I was eating were destroying my body over time, and I was just too stupid or naive to realize that until it was almost too late. So I gained that 60 pounds, so I went up to 265. 15 months ago, I went carnivore. I lost weight rapidly within the first less than 6 months. It was about 5 months, I lost about 50 pounds or so. Now I am down to 188 pounds. That is the lowest weight I have weighed since I was 19 years old. I went from a 44-inch waist. Now I am down to a 36-inch waist. That's right. And for the first time since I was 19, I am below 200 pounds. Go carnivore. Let's get back to the messages. Carnivore Cheer. Question. You showed us your new electric skillet. Do you have other cooking tools that work well for you on the road cooking? Yes. The electric skillet is my #1 way of cooking. I do, if you can see in the background, up on the upper bunk, there is an Instant Pot there. That's where I keep it stored. The Instant Pot is wonderful, and I will have some videos coming up with my recipes with the Instant Pot. So I do have an Instant Pot. I have a small electric, not waffle maker, griddle, makes little mini pancakes. I've got one of those. I've got a microwave. I have a Nutri-Ninja, which I can use for mixing ingredients, making up different protein drinks, not smoothies, not fruit, not spinach. That was another big one. Baby spinach was a daily thing for me in my fruit smoothies for those 7 years when I was vegan. If I had known about all the oxalates that I was putting into my body, because I'm paying for that now. Oxalate dumping is a reality. And kidney stones are a reality when you consume all of those oxalates. They're called calcium oxalate stones. Oxalate being one of the big words. Baby spinach has a lot of oxalates in it. So when you're stuffing that spinach in that mixer and you're drinking them daily fruit smoothies, 1 or 2 a day, some people drink 3 or 4 a day. Just think of all those oxalates going into your body and what they're going to do later. Vitamin K2 was also an issue I was not aware of was an important thing that humans need for optimal survival. Vitamin K2, one of the things it does, it regulates where calcium goes in your body. Like it's supposed to go in your bones, not your arteries. So I had 7 years of no vitamin K2. And like I said, I'm paying that price now. I'm healing from those issues now, but it takes time. If I would have known these things, I would have gone a completely different path, and I would have been on an animal-based diet much sooner. I am so glad for Dr. Shawn Baker who introduced me to the carnivore diet with his book, The Carnivore Diet. If you haven't read it, highly recommend it. Sean is an amazing person, an amazing doctor. He's kind of my mentor. I have taken his carnivore coaching program and am almost finished with it. He's a great guy. He wants to help people. Rivero Health is up and coming, and you're treating the root cause of disease. And you can treat it via diet, via what you put into your body. Do you have other cooking? Okay. BJ, what is your current weight? My current weight is 188 pounds. Marisol Montemeyer, glad to see you're doing well. Thank you, Marisol. I appreciate it. BJ, I also was vegan a few years and am still paying the price. Yes. Yes, I completely understand and I feel for you, because I as well, as a former vegan, am still paying the price. Yes, I have healed the majority of my health issues. I no longer have GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. I no longer have arthritis in my fingers and my hands. My leg, I drive up to 11 hours a day, so my right leg would get very sore right below the knee. I don't have that pain anymore. I don't have irritable bowel syndrome anymore. Now, one of the things some of you do remember, and I have mentioned it, I did develop diverticulitis. That was a few months ago, and I was put in the hospital for that. Did carnivore do that to me? No. Decades of bad eating did that to me. Decades of intense, not in decades, 7 years of intense, increased fiber helped do that to me as well. It's one of the things about fiber is it will collect and collect and collect your poop, and it builds it up and then releases it. But when it builds it up, and I noticed this and I didn't understand it at first, when your poop, if it looks like it's got a bunch of poop pebbles, as I call them, all packed together, and you release that, you're damaging your colon as it's coming out. The colon is really, it is a flexible thing, but, excuse me, it's kind of like a balloon. When you overinflate a balloon, you get those little micro tears. The same thing applies to your colon. And see, this is how it was explained to me by the surgeon at the hospital, because I almost had to go in for surgery. I opted to have it treated with antibiotics, and we're talking an extreme regimen of antibiotics via IV for 2 days in a hospital room. Those antibiotics were so intense to my body, it took me almost 2 months to recover fully from that ordeal. And one of the antibiotics that they injected into me via the IV, they did twice, and it was so powerful that it literally burned when it was going into my arm. I had to endure that twice. And then they gave me other antibiotics in the IV. And then when I was released 2 days later from the hospital, I had a prescription of these horse pills of antibiotics that I had to complete for 10 full days. It appears to have done the job it was supposed to do, because I had a major inflammation when it came to my diverticulitis. Now, I have diverticulosis, and I always will, but I can manage it, and I am managing it on a carnivore diet. So what was I surprised about that the doctors, the surgeons said over at University of Michigan Health West, which is where I was treated? I thought they were going to freak out when it came to my eating meat. No. And they'd actually heard of Dr. Ken Berry. They'd heard of Dr. Anthony Chaffee. They'd heard of Dr. Sean Baker. And the only thing they said was, continue to eat the way you're eating, Dave. Your weight has come way down. You're healthy. Your blood work is amazing. Blah, 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 right? What's the one thing they said? I'm going to show you. Once or twice a week. Okay, I will continue to eat the way I eat, with the exception of this. Do you know what this is? I'm going to tell you what this is. Metamucil, gummy form, no sugar added. Once daily is what they suggested, but I have found that maybe 2 or 3 times a week I pop one. It just helps so things don't get stopped up. That's all they wanted me to change. So it's an easy change. I continue to eat meat and eggs as my primary diet. Now, adding coffee. But, and I've mentioned this before when I was talking with Joe and Rachel from Two Crazy Ketos when they interviewed me, and you can catch that interview on their channel. If you are not subscribed to Two Crazy Ketos already, I highly recommend you do. These are great people. They know what they're talking about. I told them, and I practice, that I will stay on a ketogenic diet no matter what. So whether I'm carnivore, which is as close to 0 carbs per day, total carbs, not net carbs, total carbs per day. Some days I'll be ketovore, less than 10 carbs per day, and once in a while I'll be keto, eating less than 20 total carbs per day. Yes, I had to go back for that aroma again. I just love the aroma of fresh coffee. How tall are you? I am 6'4", BJ. Oxalate dumping is so painful. It can be. And there are many ways that people dump oxalates. What kind of protein drinks do you use? Wondering if that's a good choice when traveling, but don't know what kind I'd use. Choosing to live one. I use Equip Prime Protein, which is grass-fed beef protein. Currently, I have the chocolate version that I use. I don't drink every day, but every once in a while, I'll blend up a drink using water. Water. Best thing for a human is water. Now, you can flavor water many ways. What I'll also do is, I get a truck stop, I can go in and get free ice, chopped ice. Just in the machine, hit the ice, walk out, no charge, as long as you bring your own cup, which I do. So I'll put that in a Nutri-Ninja. I'll put the ice, the water, the prime protein from Equip, blend it all up, And I've got a tasty chocolatey beverage. Carnivore Cheer, thanks for sharing about the Instant Pot and Dash. Yes, it is a Dash mini grill. I have a little Dash and love it. Awesome. They are so easy. Carnivore Cheer, I always hated spinach, and I am glad I never forced myself to eat it, given the high number of oxalates. Good for you. You did not Popeye up. Huzzah, as Dr. Ken Berry and Nisha would say. Carnivore Cheer, Dr. Paul Mason talked about fiber in a recent video. That was an eye-opener, given how much pro-fiber information we have been fed over the years. Yes. Vicky Martin, Two Crazy Ketos is how I found you. That interview, loved it. Thank you so much, Vicky. I appreciate that. And I really enjoyed that interview. And if possible, there might be a second interview coming up. An update. Now, updates for y'all. I have a few. Sorry. It's just a feel-good feeling. That aroma of fresh coffee. I don't know what it is. It's just very pleasing to my senses. And my taste buds. But I guess when you haven't had something for 15 months, that's over a year, I guess it's going to taste extra good. So I am so glad that I got the best coffee on the interstate, as voted by truck drivers. So more updates. All right, some of you know, not everyone, of course. Stop the presses. Here we go. I gotta throw this in real quick. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to this channel. There is so much coming, so much I have in store for y'all that I've been working on, and I'm about to release that information now. Please subscribe to my channel. This helps my channel grow, and I have so many plans for this channel, one of which I'm about to release now. A very small few of you know, I am in the process of writing a book called Trucking on Steak and Eggs. It is geared towards the trucking community. It is geared towards getting truckers' health back on track and healthier. Now, recently I saw a video, broke my heart. It was very sad, but it is the reality of life for truckers out here. I watched a video somebody filmed at a rest area. She was in her cab of her truck, and she heard this loud bang crashing sound. Thankfully, it did not hit her truck, but the truck next to her had been hit by another truck that came into the rest area and lost control because the driver had a heart attack. It was so intense that the drive wheels of the semi he was driving were still spinning and smoking because his foot was pushed down on the accelerator and he was passed out from the heart attack. They had to get into the truck, other drivers had to get into that truck and shut it off. The paramedics were called. Unfortunately, the driver did pass away, did not survive that heart attack. Now, I was telling Joe and Rachel when I interviewed that when you're driving down the highway, there is a good chance you will not survive if a trucker has a heart attack next to your vehicle. You could get injured, your family could get injured, or killed. So, driver's health is paramount to not only the driver's life, but the motoring public's life as well. We've got to turn the tide when it comes to truck drivers' health. Some of you know also that I lost my best friend He died at a young age. He was only 40. He bent down to pet a dog, a puppy, at a truck stop. And he suffered a massive heart attack. And he died. Yes, the paramedics were dispatched. No, they could not revive him. He passed away. Metabolically, he was a disaster, as I tell people, because that's the truth. That also spurred me on to get not only my health back in check, but to do everything I can to help my fellow brother and sister truckers out here. So the book coming up, Trucking on Steak and Eggs, is geared for truckers, but anybody can benefit when it comes out. They can benefit from the book as well, because it is common sense, it is ways of eating, it is changing your lifestyle that can be adapted to any profession you're in, or even if you're just at home, a homemaker. It's really simple logic. And yes, using the word logic, I am a Star Trek fan. I am a Trekkie for life. A lot of you know that. Live long and prosper, absolutely. But I do believe in logic. So let's get back to the questions. BJ, to lose the weight with carnivore, did you do any fasting? Intermittent fasting daily. In other words, having 2 to 3 meals within an 8-hour to 10-hour window, and then nothing in between until the next day. That's my version of intermittent fasting, and it works for me. I try not to eat 3 hours before I go to bed. Helps me sleep better. I don't have digestive issues like I used to. So, simple answer, I use intermittent fasting daily. Even Dr. Ken Berry suggests that as well. Carnivore Cheer, I am a happy subscriber. Thanks. Thank you, Carnivore Cheer. I really appreciate it. I love your book plan. My first video just went up yesterday, Carnivore Cheer. I am so sorry to hear of the accident that took a life. Thanks so much for caring. I am sorry too. I really do. At 40, that is terrible. Yes, he lost his life early because of lifestyle choices. A lot of it had to do with his eating. He was also a smoker. I cannot tell you enough how much you need to stop smoking. You are shortening your lifespan if you smoke. Thank God I have never been a smoker. I tried it once when I was a teenager, didn't like it, never took it up. Thank God for that. Smoking will shorten your life. Now, I have heard from others that when you go carnivore and you cut the plants out, it's easier to stop smoking. Has anyone else experienced that? Let us know in the comments. No, BJ, I did not limit portion size. That is a falsehood when it comes to losing weight. People say you need to, or the experts would say all these years, limit your food, lose the weight. Yes, you will lose weight, but you're not going to do it in a healthy fashion, and you're not giving your body the nutrients and the protein that it needs to thrive and survive. That's one of the hardest things that people, especially coming from a vegan way of eating or plant-based way of eating, they have a hard time understanding the concept of eating more to lose weight. Because when you cut out all the carbs, you need the protein. You need the nutrients. You're not going to get as full as quick when you're cutting the carbs out. So when you cut the carbs out, you eat more. Eat until you're comfortably full. Listen to Dr. Ken Berry. If you are not already subscribed to Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube, he has over 2 million followers, subscribers. The man knows what he's talking about. Subscribe to his channel. I believe it's Ken Berry MD. I think that's what it is. Just type in a Google search or YouTube search for Dr. Ken Berry. His channel will come up. Vicky Martin. Yes, easier to quit smoking when I got healthy. Good. Choosing to live one. Vicky, great job. I quit smoking 30 years ago. It's like eating a proper human diet. It just keeps getting better and better. Right on. Isn't a proper human diet a good thing? Since that's what our ancestors have been doing for millions, if not hundreds of thousands of years. Now, y'all know that money is a root factor when it comes to this whole plant-based vegan movement. A lot of politicians have their money invested in these plant-based companies. What is one of the things you do not want to consume for your body? Besides oxalates, of course. And it's in just about every food out there. Every processed food, that is. Soybeans. Do not want that in your body. Seed oils, absolutely not. This body will not have seed oils or sugar. Now, I don't know if you caught my video yesterday, but I exposed Flying J for a very deceptive business practice. They advertise steak burgers. I exposed that paragraph of ingredients in them steak burgers, and even the beef part of it has dextrose in it. Go figure. Why do they add dextrose or any kind of sugar to meat? Answer: to make it more addictive. These companies make more money by using cheaper fill-in ingredients than using the real product itself, which doesn't make sense because ground beef is not that expensive. But it doesn't keep people coming back buying and buying and buying and buying and buying in these truck stops, because it's grab and go, grab and go, grab and go. Grab that burger, stuff it in your face as you're driving down the highway, or when you're on your 30-minute break in the parking lot. It would be so much healthier. And this is another goal that I have, is meeting with these truck stop mega chains and trying to get them to incorporate real food for the drivers. Ground beef is a grab and go option. That's it, ground beef. Season it any way you want. That's a great option. Real eggs. Some places use real eggs, some places use fake eggs. Or they use fillers like pancake batter in their eggs to make them fluffier. Just real, whole, one ingredient foods will improve a driver's health. I'm not even going to go into the burritos that these places serve and the paragraph upon paragraph of ingredients in those products. have some water with my electrolytes here. And like I said, water is the best beverage you can be drinking for your body. I gave up soda a long time ago. No more soda for Dave. And that was just a little over 15 months ago when I was still vegan. I cut out the sodas. And that also helped me lose weight. Yes, want to lose weight, cut out the sodas. Don't drink them Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, any of those drinks. Do not. And if you have any question about that, just look at the ingredients. Look at the ingredients on that can the next time you pick one up. Let's see. Seed oil and sugar. Bad, bad, bad. Choosing to live one. I was surprised they let you back in to buy coffee today. Love the burger video you did. Thank you. Sugar and meat don't belong together. That is correct. How often is it used in fast food? Often. Now, the places that advertise 100% USDA choice beef or 100% beef, if it says 100%, then you can guarantee that it is 100% beef. Like McDonald's, Burger King, In-N-Out Burger, Dairy Queen, Sonic. These are just a few examples. You can get real 100% beef at these fast food establishments. BJ, I have tried every version of carnivore dozens of times and can't drop weight after the initial drop. I see all these people lose on carnivore, but I can't seem to unlock my problem. Any ideas? I've tried everything. I'm up at 308 at 5'8". Okay, now I'm going to assume, never assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. The old saying. First time I saw that was on Benny Hill, by the way. I'm going to assume that you are following a strict carnivore diet. And are you using dairy? That's my first question I would ask you. Are you using dairy, BJ? You tried cutting dairy. How long did you cut? Did you try for at least 30 days? Okay. You could have another health issue going on underlying that. Dr. Ken Berry would probably agree with that. Maybe something with hyperinsulinemia. Have you had your blood work checked lately? Another thing I'm going to mention when it comes to weight loss. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but okay, no. I would highly recommend getting some blood work done. See if something underlying is going on. We're going to talk about exercise. And I know I just hear the groans and the grunts, and gonna tell you, you have to exercise. People will argue with that. Now, I'm not talking all this cardio work you see people doing. And I will tell you something in a few minutes about cardio when it comes to exercise in the human body. When it comes to results. The first thing you need to remember when it comes to exercise, it's like, oh, I run a couple miles a day. Don't do it. I jog several miles a day. Don't do it. I'm going to give you an easy way to exercise. Excuse me. Any kind of movement counts. Yes, Vicky, that is so true. I'm sure some of you have heard this before. Have you heard of sprinting? And that doesn't necessarily mean running real fast. If you sprint 3 to 5 seconds at a time, maybe 3 or 4 times, every other day, or every second day, you're going to not only improve your cardiovascular health, you're not going to only improve your circulation, you will drop some weight, as long as you are also eating the lifestyle that keeps the carbs out, keeps the sugar out. Sprinting can also be done, and this is another thing I'm revealing to you, and this will be in my book as well, and I will be coming out with a video shortly. Sprinting can also be done with the upper body and your arms. A lot of people don't realize that. You can sprint with your arms. And I've come up with what I call the werewolf sprint. It's a combination of fast movement with not only your legs, but also your arms, and alternating days between legs and arms. Now, what is a werewolf sprint? Think of yourself as a werewolf. You're chasing your prey. You're running it down. So you're going to sprint as fast as you can, 3 to 5 seconds. I can stand outside my truck and I just run the length of a 53-foot trailer. I just run it as fast as I can to the other side. I do that back and forth like 3 or 4 times. I'm done with my exercise. My legs have been exercised. When it comes to sprinting, my arms, I'm just going to go, rawr, rawr, I'm just going to go back and forth as fast as I can with that swiping motion. I'm going to do that for like 10 seconds at a time, every other day. I have exercised my arms, I have exercised my chest, my muscles are getting a workout, my shoulders. That is a werewolf sprint. And then you eventually combine them all together one day of the week. And you sprint with your arms and legs. So you're running, but you're also swiping at your prey as you're chasing it. That is a werewolf sprint. Let's see. Any kind of movement. What do you do for exercise? I just explained that. Marisol, good advice. Look forward to your next video and new book. Thank you. I appreciate that. BJ, I've heard that doctor about sprinting for eliminating internal visceral fat. Excellent point. Visceral fat is a killer. I'm going to repeat that. Visceral fat around your organs is a killer. Get rid of that visceral fat. That's what I do in my school bus. Every time I drop off the last child, I have to walk to the back to check for kids anyway. Yeah, you don't want to probably leave any kids on board. So I sprint to the back and front. Feels good. Awesome. It does feel good. You're getting that oxygen flowing. You're getting your cardiovascular system pumping. You're getting your circulation a workout. It's the old saying, use it or lose it. Your arteries are no different. Use it or lose it. Mama Cracker, hello. Vicky Martin, I do squats and balance exercises every time I have to use the bathroom at work. Now, I'm assuming that's because you don't want to really sit on the toilet? Maybe it's nasty. I don't know. But yes, going to the bathroom, you can exercise that way too. Just get up and down with the squats. Sean O'Mara, MD. Very knowledgeable individual. Exercise does not have to be hard. You do not need to be out of breath doing all this cardio. Oh, and I remember I said I'd tell you a little secret about that when it comes to cardio. When it comes to bodybuilders especially. Let's face it, who doesn't get on the internet, watch YouTube videos of these bodybuilders? I used to do it when I was vegan. I'd watch the vegan bodybuilders, try and learn from their secrets. And I did the same thing with carnivore bodybuilders. I'm going to tell you something, especially about vegan bodybuilders. And we're going to go into this in detail briefly, only because I know this individual. There's an influencer that is a vegan bodybuilder on YouTube. Has quite a following. He has a program out, books out, blah, 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 blah. He discovered the hard way. And I mean the hard way. When you are a bodybuilder, especially a vegan bodybuilder, plant-based bodybuilder, you have to exercise and work out those muscles daily, several hours in the gym, and they do. When they stop, like for vacation especially, or holidays, or something prevents them from working out, they start losing that muscle mass. Their muscles start to atrophy. They have committed themselves to a lifetime of having to work out several hours a day to maintain that muscle mass, or they will lose it. Now, one of these vegan bodybuilders recently had to go into the hospital and have major surgery. He noticed really fast that his muscles started to atrophy because he wasn't able to work those muscles out as hard as he was. If you keep eating plants, you're going to give your body problems. Sometimes it will require surgery to fix. It's just a fact. It's something I wish I would have learned a long time ago. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? The old argument. If I only would have known then what I know now. If I could go back in time, I'd go back and slap myself silly. That's the first thing I would do. Because no one is responsible for our health except us. Your doctor's not responsible for your health. Nope. A YouTube influencer is not responsible for your health. Your family is not responsible for your health. You are the only person responsible for your health. And now I'm going to give you a little tip and trick. Something I do. If you start feeling a little weak, a little lightheaded maybe, take some salt, put it on your hand, lick it up, swallow it. Chase it with just a little bit of water. And you're going to be fine in a couple minutes. I've been using this trick for a long time, and it works for me every time. Even if I'm walking across the parking lot, I feel a little off. I'll stop, put the salt in my hand, lick it. Within a matter of minutes, I feel amazing. Vicky Martin, no, just a 2-minute thing when I have to go to a private place anyway. I got you. Mama Cracker, I use a walker to walk, but I use a mini trampoline for exercise. Right on. Any way that you can exercise is going to be good. But you don't need to put all that cardio in. I'm telling you, you don't. Carnivore Cheer, I call visceral fat vicious fat. Losing the belly fat has been a blessing for me. Right on, Carnivore Cheer. Yes. And for men especially, for some reason, we have the hardest time losing weight around our midsection. Just a fact. What do you think about doctors saying to do carnivore but have a little fermented food daily, like kimchi? I'm actually okay with that, as long as it's fermented. I think kimchi, sauerkraut, a little bit of that from time to time, I don't see a problem with. I see other carnivores incorporating that. You're still keeping your carb count down, you're staying low carb, and these in general are low oxalate foods. Pickles. I love pickles. Haven't given up pickles, but I will say this. I've mentioned this in a video before. Aroma's still there. Not as strong since it's gotten a little cold, but still smells like fresh Colombian coffee. Pickles! I try my hardest to avoid pickles that have polysorbate 80 in them. Because my philosophy is, if you are eating something that has an ingredient with a number next to it, that was developed in a lab somewhere. It's a chemical. That's just my feeling on it. There are organic pickles you can buy. Buy organic. They will not have chemicals in them. There's one, I think it's called Woodstock, I think. Some of the Walmarts have it. Those are organic. So just look for the word organic when you're buying your pickles. Pickles at fast food restaurants are 99.999% using polysorbate 80 in their pickles, just like McDonald's. So I try to avoid those as much as possible. Vicky Martin, I love kefir. I just can't do dairy often. For those that especially have a lactose intolerance, a lot of people find that a good whole milk or raw, especially kefir, seems to work for them. I'm kind of the same way. I can't handle a lot of dairy, but kefir, I have a little bit now and then. It's got good probiotics in it. I do cheese once in a while. I will not, however, do shredded or pre-shredded cheese because they use a anti-caking substance in there to keep it from clumping together. So if I'm going to do shredded cheese, I'm going to have a block of cheese that I shred myself, and cheddar is my #1 cheese. But I don't do cheese all the time. Wow, I'm really surprised. Some of you have stuck in here for over an hour now. I'm still open for questions. Any question you guys have, I would love to answer it here. And that's another reason why I'm doing a live. It started off, I'd get a few emails a week with questions. Then it jumped way up to a couple hundred questions a week. Now it's approaching close to 1,000 every couple weeks. I honestly just can't keep up with everything. So I thought, let's go live, ask your questions, I will answer them, and they are on here for replay for people to watch. And I thank you all for the questions. I really do. I try to get to every question that I can if you email me. I do drive up to 11 hours per day. The last 3 days excluded, of course, or 2 days and today because of the holiday weekend. But in general, I drive up to 11 hours a day. So I do not always have the time to respond to everybody in a timely manner. Sometimes it'll take me a week to get back to you. I apologize for that up front. I am only one person. I do not have a staff on board answering my questions for me. Yes, and that is another thing I keep getting asked about. When will the truck tour come? I'm working on it. Putting together a good video for y'all. Show you my home. Because let's face it, I live in this truck about 300 days out of the year. So I am like an ultimate nomadic lifestyle van, ultra van dweller, RVer, whatever you want to call it. That's my lifestyle out here. Vicky Martin, Two Crazy Ketos live are when I'm at work or bowling night. Thanks for having one I could attend. You're welcome. And one of the things I love doing with Joe and Rachel, Two Crazy Ketos, 2KK, I go back and watch the replays because I'm always learning something from them. They are incredible people. I have met them personally. I met them at KetoCon last year, or no, this year. I met them at KetoCon. They will not be at the next KetoCon, which is Hack Your Health by KetoCon. I may or may not be there. I'm working on attending. Maybe I'll be speaking at the 2025 Hack Your Health. We'll see. Never know. Depends how my book goes, I guess. And my other project. Oh, did I mention the other project? Could have sworn I did. No, I don't think I have. I have another project I've been working on that's also been taking my time. There's another YouTube channel that's been working on this as well in his own fashion. That's Homestead How. Highly recommend you subscribe to his channel. He's been working on a carnivore documentary. However, there's a major difference between his documentary and my documentary I've been working on. What's the big change or the difference between the two of us? He wanted to raise $50,000 for that documentary. Mine? No fee. That's right. I'm not trying to raise money for my documentary. I'm doing it on my own, and I'll release it on my own on YouTube for the whole world to watch for free. It'll be 2 hours, some odd minutes in length, and it will be a documentary about a truck driver, moi, and a few others, on a carnivore journey with our diet and our lifestyle change. Now, back to the questions. Mama Cracker. Do you eat at truck stops? My answer is occasionally. I do, depending on what they have and what kind of hurry I'm in. Am I in a rush against time? I'll probably grab something quick if they have what I want. If I can get 100% beef patties for burgers, we're in. If I can get real eggs, we're in. That includes hard-boiled eggs. Now, what I like to do with my hard-boiled eggs, I'll take the egg, because they'll come in a pack of about 5 or so. Take it out, take a knife, split it right down the center. I do that with all of them at once, set them on the counter next to me, so I can eat them while I'm driving. I'm getting my eggs in, and they're real eggs. Nothing added. Now, I will say this. When it comes to hard-boiled eggs, or deviled eggs especially, the TA at Iowa 80, that's exit 384 in Iowa off Interstate 80, Walcott, Iowa. Their C-store at the fuel island, they make daily fresh deviled eggs. Now, the only thing semi-bad in them is they use regular mayonnaise, but they don't use that much. So the minimal amount that I'm getting, and they use regular mustard, and they use a little paprika. That's it. I'll buy those prepackaged from time to time, because I'm not there all the time. But it's a good way to start my day out for my first meal. I can eat those while I'm driving. I just set them on the counter next to me when I'm driving, and I'll pop them. In the future, I'm going to make my own deviled eggs on the truck with Primal Kitchen avocado mayo. Best mayo, in my opinion, hands down. Are you an owner-operator? No. I am a company driver. I have been a lease operator before for a few companies in my past. No longer. What truck do you drive? I drive a Kenworth T680. It's a studio cab, and there will be a truck tour coming up. I find it very comfortable, very roomy. It's my home. This truck has 87,366 miles on it right now, which is just broken in. Nana 1776. I have to remind myself every day that my body is healing and the weight loss is coming. Yes, Nana, yes. Weight loss is a journey, and it took us decades to put this weight on. It took us decades of eating poorly. It doesn't come off overnight. It does not. Love your price. I'm gonna take a wild guess, and I take it you mean the free price for my documentary that I'm working on? Is that what you're talking about, Vicky? Auto or stick, BJ? It is an automatic. I started in 2005 my trucking career. I learned on a stick shift. They didn't have automatics when I started. Drove a stick shift up until just a little over 5 years ago. Then I got behind my first automatic. Didn't think I was gonna like it. I love it. Do you know why? When you're stuck in traffic as much as truck drivers are, you're going to appreciate that automatic where you don't have to keep clutching all the time. Vicky Martin documentary. Yeah. Okay. See? Got it right. Just using logic. Me, I'm priceless. I know I'm being conceited. No, each one of us is priceless. Life is priceless. And we only have one of those. We just need to make the best of it that we can. Are we immortal? I like to think of myself as immortal. I know that's not reality, but I'm going to try and stick around in this lifetime as much as I can, God willing. And yes, I put my faith in God. I keep telling myself that you've heard of the saying, faith without works is dead. You can't just rely on God. You have to also put your works in. So if I were to just lay down, go to sleep, feel like not getting up and driving, doing my job, making my deliveries, pickups, doing what I need to support my family, it wouldn't work. Yes, my faith is in God, but I get up daily and I complete my works to provide for my family, to continue daily life, to walk another day, to breathe another day. Life is precious. Evil will always triumph because good is dumb, as Dark Helmet says from Spaceballs. Yes, I am enjoying my first cup of coffee in 15 months in my Spaceballs mug. Just thought it'd be special. BJ, I love scripture. Love scripture. Me too. And, okay, we'll go to scripture. Coming from a vegan background of 7 years, vegans like to argue the fact that God designed us to eat plants. You know, I'm going to agree with that. Do you know why? Because when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, everything was good. There was no sin in the world. But then when Eve committed the first sin, ergo, humans committed the first sin, God cursed the ground. That's right. And I don't recall anywhere in the Bible where God undid that curse. So why would I want to eat anything that's grown in the ground? But I feel God had mercy for us. God was compassionate. God told Noah that the animals were to be food for him and his family and their descendants thereafter.